episode, brand new week. Candy on the mic.
Oh, well, baby.
Flamingos podcast.
Podcast, man. That's the shit. Let's go.
Welcome to our second session today on day 4 at Bred Dhabi. This is the Flamingos podcast. This is your host Ahmad.
Candy on the mic.
And Yod.
Yot.
Bro, I can breathe. You can see how my voice is.
Can hear
Once again, guys, I'm
Day 4, you become a hard one.
bro. خلاص. I came a part of this concrete of the street. خلاص, I'm there.
And we have here with us Ahmad from the WorkshopDXB.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Ahmad. Thank you for sitting here with us. First of all,
Of course.
I know it happened real quick between me and you, and then I came to you and I was like, yo, Ahmed, because I remembered. So pre this event, I was just over here. I was checking the space and all that, and that's where I met you. And we talked about the podcast, and we talked about the workshop itself. And then you were like, oh, one day we should sit down. Then when I was walking around, I was like, yo, why that not one day happens now? And we can do it also later on.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen, bro. We're in
Exactly.
the same place. We're doing the same thing.
And you are as well part of this, you are part of Bred, and if I can say, because this is what we're doing over here, bread makers,
Yeah.
You are now considered as also a bread maker in the event and outside as well,
For the culture.
So,
It's part of the culture too.
It's
yeah.
part of the
So-
culture. We're bread makers, of course, in the literal and, this kind of sense. But definitely, it's been a labor of love. We've been here, doing this, working, collaborating with everybody we can, just to sort out whatever the result that you are seeing right now. So honestly, it is a born and bred
Yeah.
project,
Yeah.
It's born out of love, bred out of passion. So yeah, we're super excited to be here.
And as a participator, as part of the culture, can you give us a bit of a background about who is Ahmad? What is the WorkshopDXB?
For sure. So yeah, let's backpedal. So my name is Ahmad Makary.
Okay.
I'm a curator. I'm a designer. I sometimes do a little bit of art by myself.
Okay.
And I also have my own company, which is the WorkshopDXB. So it's a company that we created about 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And the whole point of the company is how can we play around between the digital and the analog space.
Okay.
Because we still love everything hand-done. We still love DIY work, and that's how we started this. And also, how can we keep it, just current, because other than that, not a lot of people are doing a lot of handwork, crafts, all of that stuff. So it actually, it started off in the music industry. So back home, we had all our friends. They were in rock bands and metal bands at the time. And, we were kids, 15 years old, 16 years
Yeah.
old. We were all broke, no money. So we had to contribute somehow. So we started watching some YouTube videos, trying to educate ourselves however we can. And we started learning the art of screen printing itself. And we started creating merch for all these record labels, independent labels, and so forth, so forth. Now we're here. Now we're doing much bigger projects. We're doing projects that are focused, likewise, on this community aspect of everything. For the culture, for the community, how can we collaborate with as much people from different communities as possible? So, and that's where we are right now.
mashallah. I've seen earlier this year, you had also an art street festival, right? House 45.
Oh, House 45. House 45 was a trip. They contacted us. I don't know if you're aware of Sikka Art Festival.
Yeah.
Sikka Art Festival is usually a very traditional kind of festival. Their approach to art is still, very, it's very classic, so there's nothing new about it. And I've worked with them on a couple of projects beforehand. And this year they called me, they were like, listen, we have this house. It's never been opened for the last 14 years. It used to be the clinic of that whole Bastakia area in Dubai. And right before that, it was also a storage room, storage space for the Dubai Museum. They're like, this is the first year we want to open it. We want to, bring your DNA into it. So obviously we're going to do something related to the urban scene, urban culture. But that's music, that's arts, that's just love, basically.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to what we're doing here. We just collaborated with a group of people that I think are pivotal in everything that we do, right? I, for example, even though I worked in music, but if I need anything to support in any music, I have my people to go to. If I need anything in street art, I go to people that I need to. Photography, I go to people that I need, So I combine all these people that work collaboratively and together.
A curator?
It's exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just curate the experience, right?
yeah.
What I'm trying to do is just curate an experience that is, I don't know, like something memorable, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if all of you were at House 45, but House 45 was,
I think I've walked by. I've
Yeah.
been to a Circle festival this year.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Sika one was
Codes,
the,
right?
the Codes, yeah, that's a
Codes
different one.
before,
Yeah, that's a different one. But you know, the Sika festival this year was just crazy. Like everybody was inside the house,
Okay.
parties on the rooftop. We have about 25 artists.
Okay.
We have about 15 panelists.
Okay.
We would had 4 art installations. We had you know, retailers, you know, selling their stuff. So yeah, it was massive. Honestly, like that kind of like it was a success, and that kind of cemented the idea that that's where I want to go, and that's what I want to do.
Going back, what really initiated? Well, now you spoke more than once, and you talked about that you used to work in music.
Yeah.
What made you go like, all right, I'm not gonna do music anymore, or I don't know what you're doing in music
No, I
industry,
wasn't
so-
making music,
but
yeah.
but then made you do that transition.
Yeah,
you know, to
taking
what
making
you're
that
doing
switch
today.
to
Yeah. So the minute I moved into Dubai, right, I went to the
When was
corporate.
that? Sorry, because that's crucial.
I moved to Dubai in 2011, end of 2011.
Okay.
And straight away into a corporate job, so in the music industry. So I used to work with NBC initially, Platinum Records. I used to be their art director, and then lately, the last 4 years, I was the creative director of Sony Music.
Okay.
So I had the opportunity to work with basically any artist that we've seen here. I work in a capacity of creative, so basically marketing strategies, campaigns, visuals, video shoots, photo shoots, everything visual related to the artist. However, honestly, like I don't know, last year I was like getting super tired. I didn't want to go into this whole. I didn't find myself sticking to corporate life. I had my workshop running for 10 years. It was always a passion project. I used to finish my day job and go to my studio, sit there and get creative. You know,
Yeah.
I had that freedom to do that, right? And it just reached a point. Last year, I left Dubai for a year. I went to Europe. I stayed there for a year, and I just recently came back like 4 or 5 months ago. And I thought, okay, well, listen, I don't want to do corporate anymore. I just want to see where this goes. Put all my energy, put all the effort into it, and just see it grow. You know, just see
High
it grow.
risk taker, huh?
And yeah, and
Oh, I had to.
how did you
I risked-
come to that decision and between leaving your corporate job, which is a basic safe position that you've been in for the longest, for as long as you can remember, and then
Yeah.
Not a lot of people would do that.
and then taking that leap.
Yeah,
How
also-
how
and
was
also-
that?
Yeah. And also take us through the thinking process of taking that such a
Sure.
Because if
decision.
one, Kenzie
A
over
decision.
here would love to do that.
Definitely.
I'm telling you.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, listen. All I can say, like to you personally, is if you're having thoughts about doing it, then stop having thoughts and just do it. Like honestly, it's very rewarding. It is high risk, especially in the UAE because we are not from the UAE.
Yes.
So there's always that kind of like stigma around it. But not to like make this any kind of like thing, but I had like I don't know, I was collapsing last year. Like I was tired, you know what I mean? And I'm talking mentally, and I just needed to find that balance between being able to generate income and being able to generate something creative, something that you're actually proud of, and kind of seek that validation out of the work you're doing, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Corporate job doesn't give you that. You do all the work, but you don't feel that validation really close to your heart. You don't feel it like, I don't know, close to you. So honestly, it was that I just needed to balance myself. I just needed to balance my, like the need for money and the need for creation.
Yeah.
And okay, well, I went through a million business model. Okay, how can I turn my business profitable, but not only profitable, also sustainable for a lifestyle in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
Dubai ain't cheap, you know.
that's
exactly,
true.
exactly. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So, I had to do it, and I took a year off in Europe, and that I came to a lot of like self-realization, like self-reflection a lot, and I just like so far I've only been doing it like full time for like since December, and so far perfect. I cannot complain.
Everything you got everything you hoped out of that job.
Everything I hoped, and to be honest, and then some more. You know what I mean? Like I'm just really happy with how it's coming out, but this is the problem with like committing to something like I don't know if you would call me a freelancer, but let's say a freelancer, right? And you're still unstable. Now, for me personally, instability is not something bad. Like we build on it, we
I
strive
love
on
that.
it. Yeah.
The feeling of being unstable to me,
Yeah.
something crazy because it keeps you going.
Exactly.
It keeps you waking up. Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Next week I don't know what might happen.
Yeah.
Let me just work twice as hard as I can today,
Yeah.
and let's go.
100%.
That's why. And for me, I love the feeling of instability.
Yeah. No, it's good. You know, I was scared of it. You know, I assume everybody would be scared to
True,
take that step at the beginning. But you know, it was like, okay, at the same time, if I don't do it,
Are you married?
no,
Do you have kids?
no.
That's why.
That made it so much easier, bro.
so it's
Wait, are you
easier.
guys married and kids?
No, I'm not, but
You know, okay, I
have.
All right. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
why
Well, no,
now
now
asking the question because he wants to know.
Now it
Yeah.
makes
I take
sense.
back. I take back
Can I
my
do it?
No, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, but you said you started this literally last December as a full time, right?
Committing full time to it was the
But you had it from 10 years
10 years ago.
as a side hustle, if we may call.
It's a passion project.
And you've been here since 2011
Yeah.
in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
How did you see the transition in the industry or the creative scene itself
Oh.
during those 11 years, you know?
Listen, honestly, and not to toot my own horn, but I'm kind of very honored to have been here 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you would have never seen this.
True.
If you go on like our pages, well, even though we're not really, but if you go back way back to our first post in Dubai, it was still super raw. Like I remember a couple of groups that were doing these art projects, and we all kind of started together. Like you see my pictures in their place, their pictures on my place, and that's how it's all started. The street art scene, for example, is super young here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Still,
like,
the graffiti, you know, it's still now is growing even more and more.
it's
Yeah.
going crazy right now. But 10 years ago,
It was, yeah.
you
that's
had
true.
Metronome. You know, if you don't remember Metronome, he was tagging those like sentences. on the street.
And now as well, you start seeing the government itself painting those graffitis all over
over the city, yeah.
Almina,
Yeah, like
under the
sponsored.
bridges.
For sure.
They sponsor all that.
sure.
But back then, you know, you used to see kids spraying up, running away, and all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what you would see right now is, I don't know if like, if are we tapped or something? But 10 years ago, you used to tag a wall.
Yeah.
Second day, it would be buffed.
Yeah.
No, no, yeah, say that. It's okay.
Right now, you go around, and the art is still there. Nobody's buffing the walls. I'm talking about the unsolicited work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
They keep it.
There's more growth. There's more
tells you
appreciation.
a lot.
to
There's
the
more
art.
acceptance.
There's more
to it, too.
acceptance. Yeah.
Yeah.
that tells you a lot, you know. So I'm happy to see. Honestly, I'm like super happy to see Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah. You know, all of the Emirates growing, and like having more space, having more tolerance, having more acceptance to the art communities from everywhere, and they're not sticking to one particular style of art. So 100%, like it's growing, and we see it. Like we can imagine how the next 5 years and the next 10 years are gonna be, and it's looking wonderful.
Yeah, I had questions about AI for you as well
Yeah,
over
before,
there.
I'm gonna combine the question like this. So going back to switching to your whole life into your passion, like dedicating your life into your own project, and you said that you started a few months ago, right? Do you prepare yourself for the downs in the business if you're executing a business model? There might be some ups and downs, right? How do you manage that risk, and how do you adapt to the new technologies like AI, for example, or NFTs? Do you prepare? Do you have a plan for that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, you have to prepare yourself, especially in a city like the UAE, or in a country like the UAE, right? Because it is seasonal.
Yeah.
You reach a point where it's too hot to do anything, you know, and too hot to be super productive. So we definitely, like most artists, don't forget that most artists are struggling artists, you know, so most of them end up leaving during the summertime, during the hot times, you know. So like right now, for example, my plan is to come here for the season, create as much as we can, and whenever it gets down, go to Spain, go to Europe, or wherever I am, and just travel around, try to get inspired, and build in my head, you know, a full list of work that I want to achieve for the next season.
For the next season.
And it's always this kind of, like when you work super hard, like for 6-7 months, whatever it is, and then you hope for the best.
You hope for the best, and you
Take
have a
ins-
backup
take
plan.
inspiration when you travel
going to.
outside. Come back with it.
100%. You reinvigorate yourself. You know, you're not like just sitting at home in the AC, like chilling, watching Netflix. You know, like you actually go and like build something, like watch what all the
Get
other communities are
inspired.
doing. Yeah. For me, what was the question you said about AI and NFT?
Yeah, AI and NFT. I know that all the people who like real painting, they are against the NFTs and the digital assets. So what's your take on that?
I think it's still it's very infant, right? So a lot of artists still have their precautions around it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of street artists that are going into that field, and I know some that are just, you know, not really interested in the World Wide Web, in the World Wide Web, bro. Like these guys are not even like on social media. They don't care, you know.
Do you think it takes away from the art using that kind of technology? Or
I think it will never take away from art. I think you can generate art on it, but
Okay.
whatever art you're generating isn't gonna be any kind of like it's still missing that soul that people. Like, you know, it's kind of the same as when you're talking about vinyls or when you're talking about books.
Yeah.
No, books are here to stay.
Sure.
You know, art is here to stay. Some people are right now engaging in AI, you know, and still, like, not anybody can go on AI and create a wonderful piece of art. It needs some, it needs some, I don't know, like,
It takes somehow of the process. If
Yeah.
you're a person who's drawing or whatever, you're there. You know, you get through the frustration. You sit down. You get this, you know, cup of coffee. You start trying to get inspiration again. And then through it, it's more of mental breakdown. This is not happening.
exactly, exactly. But here's the thing: is art, and like from whenever I was born, right? Art was never a technical thing, right?
True.
It was always about what you want to express.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So the medium is what changes.
The medium changes, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that AI cannot be a medium. Like for example, there's a difference between like I want to be a craftsman. Then I only want to use a paintbrush. Okay, so that's it's a
It's a
craftsmanship.
tool.
It's a tool to
Yeah.
create the art.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I cannot make a piece of art using AI, or you can use anything you want to create art. It's your mind, it's your energy, it's your
Just like the books, now people are going to audiobooks instead of reading the actual book as itself. But the book is still the same.
Yeah.
It's just the medium or the technology that changes and give the accessibility to the people to get a piece of information, whether that's a book
And-
or the
yeah,
or
it's about the
audiobook.
purists. The purists, you know, they will go and they still want to smell the book, right?
The paper, yeah.
And the same, like for me personally, I wouldn't go into AI. It's not my thing. Because I like to smell paint. I like to get dirty.
Yeah.
I like the smell of thinner.
But
Like,
this is what I'm
yeah.
talking about, the process itself.
some other people don't really care.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not here to tell you, hey, no, listen, like stick to your thing. No, do your thing, whatever you guys want to do. Just,
Yeah, I agree.
and for me, I'm more scared about AI when it enters the corporate world.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like I think
And it
designers have a bigger
already
problem
is.
than
Yeah.
artists. You know what I mean?
The
It
design,
already
yeah.
is. We're seeing, I've been seeing people finishing projects that they have to do, whether it's marketing, it's
Yeah.
through ChatGPT or, you know.
Man,
or
AI is a
something.
blessing. I don't. For me, it's a blessing.
But listen, my last 20 emails were response by ChatGPT. I don't
You
respond
have no
anymore.
idea how much time that saves.
I'll
It saves
focus
so
on
much time.
the focus on doing whatever I'm doing, and ChatGPT will answer my emails.
Yeah, just do that for me. Just take care of it.
It's like an assistant.
There are advantages, there are benefits for the artist to, for example, to use AI and benefit from it doing the daily tasks, the annoying tasks, for example.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Again, like what I was trying to say earlier is that,
And focus on the creative part of it, yeah.
yeah, but AI is still a tool that is not fully explored.
Not fully.
There's still a lot of things that could be done with it, and we're just waiting for the creatives. I'm not gonna say the artists to come and find a new way to use AI that is
Definitely.
beneficial in a new way.
Definitely.
It's always technology is developing. We'll see. You know, like we don't know what the next thing is. So
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to Bred, and we're here on day 4, and I've been seeing you all over the place. Like,
Yeah. It's
literally,
like, I always
bro,
catch him, and I even
at
see
some
him
point, I
distance-
didn't even know where he was working.
from
I
a
was like,
distance. I go like, hey, Ahmad, my mate, I keep walking, you know.
yeah.
so give us a bit more insight on the workshop DXB and what you guys are doing at Bred, and how's that experience been going on so far?
Yeah. So for this, I mean, when they first approached me with the idea of Bred, and I looked at that like beautiful pitch deck, I'm like, it seems like the plan that they wanted to do was super exciting, right? It's focused on culture, it's focused on community, it's focused on also multiple pillars that are important to me. One of them being the arts.
Yeah.
And usually in like these big festivals, there is room for art, not a lot. Here, what we're trying to do is we built this as the Workshop DXB. We of course are doing our like live screen printing concept. We've been doing that for so long here. Everybody knows us for it. We go into any event and we showcase what screen printing is directly into the people. Because not, like I would say 80% of people do not know what screen printing is.
True.
And that's a kind of an educational aspect that we like to include always, to showcase it, to teach it. On the other side, you know, I wanted to bring in all the local artists that I had the pleasure of working with, and like Some of them like from 10 years ago, some of them that I just met like super recently. And these are artists that are here that are doing something interesting, and we want to highlight them. We want to give them the space. We want to give them the platform. Most of them are, unfortunately, based in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
And so bringing that energy into Abu Dhabi was super important. So we created a Neo Gallery space. It's kind of a mix of art from, I don't know, anything you can imagine, right? So we have collectible toys, we have paintings, we have photography, we have carpets, we have straight up, you know, like we have extinguishers, fire extinguishers. So for me, I just wanted to put all of that in the space. I know it's in a festival space, so we do put prices going down from super cheap up to super expensive, just to like kind of see, but also open the eyes to everybody that listen. Art is very valuable. Also, it could be something decorative, right? And whatever you guys want to do it, but check it out, touch it, feel it, you know, like enjoy it, and I don't know, maybe buy a piece or two.
And these creatives or artists that they have over there, they're all local.
They're not local in terms of Emirati.
Yeah, but they're local artists from Abu Dhabi or Dubai.
Exactly. So all of them are local. Some of them are the OG local, you know. We have like two artists from one from Al Ain and one from Dubai.
Okay.
And the rest, yeah, it's like a mix. We have a British, we have a Russian, we have South Africans, we have Algerians. You know, we have all kind of mix. We have French people, yeah. So it's basically, these are people that are here. These are people that are putting their efforts into building an interesting culture, an interesting movement within the culture. And I'm talking urban culture, obviously. So yeah, I mean, it was great. But also, like, when we were having this discussion with Bred, we had a lot of cool ideas that we wanted to do, but they just wouldn't fit here. So we did a collaboration also with Hypebeast, for example. Well, we had 3 collaborations with Hypebeast. One is we did like curated basketball boards for their kind of centerpiece. So working with 6 artists here, graffiti artists, we did 6 different pieces. We also are working with Chop 'Em Down, they're a film crew out of LA, and we are curating films, like all the street art films. Some of the best ones, like you have Shepard Fairey, you have Revoke, you have Coutura, some of the biggest street artists in the world featured on those films. And we have Bootleg Riot. Bootleg Riot is, I don't know, like, if you like books, you will die in their space, bro. And they will challenge you on every single book you see there. Like, that's a different level of academic literature for me. Like, these guys have read every book that you imagined, and you just go there, and the whole concept is that you sit with them, you engage with any book, you don't buy the books, and you just say it's like an open library concept.
That's dope. And now, speaking more into that, thoughts on, you know, this is the first time this happening in Abu Dhabi. Us, we've always talked about how we need this happening in Abu Dhabi. We've been running this for 3 years, and every year, there's more than one episode that we go like, yo, this is needed for the culture, this is needed for the culture. And especially people like us, you know, a space, look at us today. And we have now the opportunity as well to present our show, you know. There's a lot, it gave a lot of chances, opportunities to other people also to showcase. You as a creative as well, how do you see that also happening now, having more than one city, you know, doing this at the same time throughout the year, you know?
Well, first, it's great that it's Abu Dhabi. It's the capital. I'm super happy to be here. I mean, we're based in Dubai, so obviously we've done a lot of projects in Dubai. We did a couple of projects here in Abu Dhabi, but nothing of this scale. So, very excited to be in Abu Dhabi. I've been here for like 10 days right now. You know, just like enjoying it. It's beautiful, and it's just like a chill vibe. I love the city. What I also love about what's happening here is there's a lot of power given to local emerging talents. It's not about big kind of like names and big you know, there's a lot of people that are like, yo bro, like we were having a coffee 2 days ago, you know, like these are people that we know, that we like, and that we love to see them succeed. We love all of us to work together, and we're just so happy that it's happening in Abu Dhabi. It's a new kind of stomping ground, so why not? We would love to like move here like as much as we can. And yeah, obviously the other Emirates as well, you know, they're doing their thing as well.
100%. Well, do you have anything else?
Yeah, we talked earlier about AI and how technology is kind of seeping through the field and through the art. How, as the WorkshopDXB, how do you guys try to? I mean, because a lot of people or people's interest is not as invested in the arts as it used to be. So how do you keep up with that? How do you keep up, or how do you keep people into this whole cycle of arts and the WorkshopDXB? Like, how do you do it?
I mean, the workshop and screen printing is a very analog thing. And it's like super far from like any kind of technology. Like everything we do is handmade. We don't have any machine. Like we use one electric plug in all of the studio. You know, like we don't need anything, right?
What I know about screen printing is the best way of printing on a t-shirt, because later on it won't fade
Definitely.
as well. Yeah.
Most of the t-shirts that you see worldwide are done using screen printing, except that it's very industrial,
True.
and you don't really like witness it, right? And that's why we
So
bring
you
it
go
back.
through, you show people the whole process,
How the
of
process
how it
goes, yeah.
happens, how.
Yeah.
But it's quite expensive as well. How, I mean the tools, they're big.
But the machines are expensive, yeah. But for a customer that wants to, like, I don't know, build a brand or print some art or whatever it is, it's actually much cheaper than anything else.
Okay.
Because it's a bulk method, right? Like, the more you print, the cheaper it is. Obviously, when I print one piece, it's going to cost you a lot. But if you're printing, like, by volume,
100%.
it's going to be, like, very affordable. And, like, for me, to AI, for example, like, all of that kind of world, there's, like, even in the world of NFT, it's still, like, related to something concrete, right? It's still not 100% floating in the internet space, you know? So why not? We did a couple of projects on NFTs where artists were releasing NFTs in order for us to kind of promote these works and get them to, like, you know, for the community and all of that. Like,
Yeah,
for
to get
the-
people.
engage more with it. We did some screen prints. And these screen prints are the ones that are hanging on their walls.
Yeah.
And the NFT is the one sitting on their PC, on their USB or whatever, you know what I mean? So there's always still that space in between.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, same like books, it's never going to go away. Screen printing has been available for like 2,000 years. And it's never going to disappear, you know? It's still a big method, so why not? Now, what we do with it is how creative we get with it and how we expand kind of the business thinking behind it, design thinking behind it. We can take it in a lot of spaces.
Yeah.
And we'll just see what happens next, you know?
Ah, that's fascinating.
Kenzie has a question every day that we ask our guests over here about the words that you give for the creatives. Well, here you go, do it, Kenzie.
Exactly. So in the same field, you guys are in. What type of advices do you give for the new generation, the new upcoming creatives, the new artists to follow?
Or people that would like to take same steps as you did as well. We spoke about that, but yeah.
Well, I was gonna answer one thing, but it works kind of good for this. Is for me, it's like seek freedom.
Okay.
You know, like try to like get away from like the restrictions that are put by society. And by that I mean, you know, like you can make money not through a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, you can travel, but also make the best out of the experience and make some money there. And you know, like you can't. Okay, so basically, kind of like the other way to put it is, it's great to learn, but it's also super good to unlearn. Like
Super good too.
to unlearn.
Yeah.
Like forget what you've learned before and try to
Start
learn
new.
new systems, new methods, new design thinking processes, new methodologies. You know.
Don't limit yourself. Don't think out of the box. Always.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Be free.
Be free.
Do whatever you want. Be free, man.
Well,
Honestly.
Ahmad, I think this is our time for today.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. I hope this was as entertaining as for you guys as for us. We learned a lot,
I love
that's for sure, and we're gonna do more. That's 100%. We just made the connection now, and this is the benefit of this. You know,
Exactly,
we met here, we connected, we shot something, and you know, we're gonna carry over. Hopefully,
It's just
you
a
know?
start.
Exactly, and
I
then
remember during COVID times. What was that app?
which one?
Everybody was on that app, that radio app. Completely forgot what it was. Clubhouse.
Yeah.
You remember during the first day of Clubhouse? I remember I was in a couple of rooms that you were at, right?
I used to talk stuff that I should have not spoken.
No, it was fun.
You're bringing up a treasure past.
But I remember, like, you know, also I see a lot of people here. I was like, whoa, like since COVID, like,
This is the clubhouse people.
I know your voice. I haven't seen your face, but I know your voice. But
Yeah, I said some stuff I should have not
Oh, I
said.
said some stuff. Bro. I said some stuff.
I mean, but yeah, you know, this is why I love such stuff. Bro, I've been walking around for a couple of days and I'm just mesmerized with the amount of footfall that honestly I didn't expect.
Yes.
You know, especially on the first day.
First night, for first event.
Yes. It's I mean, alhamdulillah, you know. But yo, this was everything from us today, from the Flamingos podcast. Thank you for tuning in for today. Tomorrow is our last day in the event as well. Tune in, make sure you check us out. And this is everything for today. This was Yad.
Kenzie on the mic.
You know what?
and Ahmad, a prince.
Thank you, guys. That was beautiful. That was good. That was good.